So here we are. And let's get ready for our beautiful practice today. Today is many times I invite people to lie down. And again, I want you to honor your bodies more than anything. However, if today you have the capacity to be more active in your practice, then I'd like you to stay seated and take a noble posture. And a noble posture is to sit nice and tall. So if you're sitting in a chair, to take a noble posture is to sit forward on your chair. Your feet are flat on the ground. Your hands are resting on your thighs, palm facing up or down. You can even have one palm facing up, one palm facing down. Just play with that. The shoulders are nice and relaxed. Maybe even roll your shoulders up to your ears and roll them back. Allow your shoulder blades to move toward the center of the spine. Just kind of stretch out a little bit and then allow the shoulders to nestle in comfortably. If you're sitting on a cushion, sit in a way that allows your body to be nice and upright. Spine is straight. Notice, bring your awareness to the lower back and make sure that your lower back is neither arching nor is it where your belly is kind of sucked in and you're in sort of a C shape. And you want to just make sure the spine is nice and tall, shoulders are back, chin is parallel to the floor, eyes are gazing downward, eyes could be closed, the eyelids are closed. Anything that cultivates an inward gaze. Invite your hands to rest in a posture that feels at ease. The traditional posture is left palm facing up, right hand, the back of the hand resting in the left palm, thumb tips are touching. This rarely feels natural to me, nor does it feel particularly comfortable. I think it's because I was raised in a Catholic environment, so I like to interlace my fingers. I'm most at ease in that posture with my fingers, my thumbs touching. If you're lying down, allow your body to be well received by the floor or your couch or your bed. Feel nice and at ease. And then I just invite you to enjoy the simplicity of simply breathing in, breathing out. And maybe just allow a smile to be born on your lips, a smile of happiness to be able to be here today, a smile of acknowledgement that recognizes the good qualities that you possess, your kindness, your compassion, your joy, your thoughtfulness and consideration, your tenderness and gentleness, your curiosity, your intelligence, your capacity to reflect and be contemplative. So many virtuous qualities that feed and fuel your wise actions and efforts to be here. And if you don't believe me, maybe there's a little inner voice that doubts what I just said about your virtues and your qualities and just the extraordinary wholesomeness of you as a human being. Maybe there's a little voice in your head that's like, oh, Julia, if you really knew me, you wouldn't be saying any of that because I am, shitty person number one and I need to be here and blah, blah, blah. To which I would simply say, wow, would you look at that? Fascinating story. Probably true and not the whole truth. Because the truth is, if you really think about it, there are probably no less than 1,000,000 other things you could be doing in this hour. But you've made an effort and you acted wisely. All of that requires degrees of virtue to make this happen. So, hooray, you're amazing, and I'm so grateful you're here. Today, we are continuing our exploration of grief. And we are focusing and concentrating our exploration to examine the idea of letting go and the idea of trust. And the notion of letting go isn't about dropping our grief, dropping our regret, dropping our anger, pretending that it doesn't exist anymore. It's working on softening, loosening the stories we have about our grief. Yesterday, in our meeting, we were privileged to hear the wisdom of Thich Nhat Hanh, and he was talking about how we can take care of the past and the hurts from the past by taking care of the present and learning to be different in the present, and that difference brings healing to the past. And how it does that is it brings understanding and clarity. It brings curiosity and wonder. It enables us to enact new skills, new tools, so that when we experience something in the present that is reminiscent of an experience in the past, we can remember, oh, this is not that. And I can let go of the story related to that. And I can trust that whatever this is, I can handle in a new way. I can be open and curious, and it can be present in my life to teach me something. So today in our noble posture, I'd like to bring forward the image of a tree. And the image of a tree, in terms of its symbolic nature, it is very ancient, and it's known across all world religions. Every practice known that is written has a tree with symbolic nature. And what's fascinating about it when you study world religions is practices of spirituality from one part of the globe versus another part of the globe where there's no way the two could have interacted, intuitively know this and have the same symbolic definitions of the tree. And they're basically able to observe a tree, its power, and our relationship to them without ever having to communicate with one another in their mythological and spiritual storytelling. So, for instance, a tree's roots branch and mirror the tree's branches that grow and flourish in the air element. The roots grow and flourish in the earth element and in the unseen realms. Spiritually speaking, this is to bring to your consciousness that what we cannot see supports what we can see. Deep, solid root systems support enormous branching, leafing tree growth in the air element that can weather all kinds of conditions. We don't see what the roots are doing, but we trust in their stability to keep the tree upright, to keep it grounded, anchored, even in the middle of a storm. So we are invited to cultivate our own spiritual practices so that we too can grow roots. We can stay anchored in order for whatever is happening in our minds and bodies to weather the storms. One of the anchors we turn to as human beings is the breath. Another anchor for me in my personal practice are my hands. And so what I'd like to invite you to do is turn your hands up so your palms are facing up for just a moment. Allow them to receive the air like the rest of your body. And then when you're ready, turn your hands over and allow the palms to rest gently on your thighs, and with gentle pressure, push. Push down and anchor your legs. And then when you're ready, release the pressure and allow your hands to be still. And you can do that several times throughout this practice today, just gentle pressure to root, to ground, to remember that you are connected to this earth. When the mind is racing, when the heart is racing, use your hands to ground your body. When you're out in your day, and if you encounter something distressing and you cannot sit down, a beautiful way to enact this, there are two ways to get in touch and anchor with your hands. Rest them gently at the level of the heart. Left hand on the heart, right hand on top, gentle pressure. two very simple options to ground. And this creates a foundation for your practice of letting go and trusting. So coming back to the tree, the Buddha leaned against the Bodhi tree, the back of his body leaning into the core strength of a tree's trunk. So the Buddha was borrowing the strength of a tree to give him a stronger spine. Watching the leaves in this season, remember they know to let go. They know to surrender to the whimsy of the air element, and they know to land gently, blanketing the earth element, decomposing through winter's rest to feed the earth element, which feeds the roots, which then strengthens the tree, a strong core body to give us stronger spines, to branch and grow even more. And when it's time, the spring comes, the branches will bud, leaf out, and we begin the whole cycle again. We can let go of some of these stories in a very gentle, surrendered way. We can watch them fall. We can watch them feed our curiosity and awareness, our wisdom. We can watch our wisdom strengthen our spines and our resolves and resilience as we continue to grow and open. And as we grow and open, we become a little vulnerable. And we can trust that it's okay. Trees do it all the time. And it's a good thing, because trees are our kin. Without them, we would have no air to breathe. Symbolically, trees are places of shelter, and they are refuge. And they're places of refuge and shelter because they provide protection from the sun, and they allow us to really look at the brightness of our virtues and the shadows of our misconduct. And what's so curious about being in the shadow of a tree is that it offers us great relief. We call it shade. And so maybe if we can also treat some of our shadows as shade, as places where we can find a little bit of relief from the brightness, the directness of what we're learning, for the more subtle, the more shy wisdom to come through. Maybe that will aid us in letting go our stories and surrendering and trusting the process. Notice where your hands are as you take a deep breath. If you get a chance to spend some time with trees today, enjoy their sheltering presence and know without a shadow of a doubt that they delight in your presence and they are there to guard you and lend you strength. Let's find a noble posture and let's imagine a great tree, a great guardian, a noble friend that we can lean against, lean on, lean into, find shade. And let's remember that we can connect with our capacity to ground and flourish in our grounding by putting our hands on our body, particular points on the body, the thighs, the heart, gentle pressure. Let's take a deep breath in and let's remember that the workings of a tree are unknown. All of the workings, all of how a tree operates, siphons water and moisture from the earth and disperses it through its branches and leaves, is a mystery. We don't know. Our own bodies are mysterious. And so there is an invitation to trust what we can't see, to trust what we don't yet know, and maybe to invest in a little bit of spirit that's lighthearted, that maybe what we don't know, what we don't see, is anchoring us, keeping us in well-being, encouraging us, delighting in us. And maybe the stories of the opposite, maybe we can put those down a little bit. Open up to the brightness and the beauty of this precious human life. It's a practice, friends, and a privilege to practice with you. May you go into your day today with just a degree of gentleness. That 1 degree of gentleness could make all the difference in someone's life. We'll see you next time. Namaste.